Hello guys, and welcome to Club Bubblegum AP Tutorials. My name is Crystal, aka Crystal X on IMVU, and today's tutorials I'm going to be teaching you the basic tools of Sketchup. This is going to be great for you beginners who want to learn how to start meshing, and you want to begin with using SketchUp. It's great for beginners. It's also easier to learn than 3ds Max. And when you begin, you're going to see Susan here. At least if you use the same template as me, I'm using the simple feet and inches. I'm using this one simply because it's a more accurate scale for IMVU. You also get your 3 axis points. You get the green, which is the x-axis, you get the red, which is the y-axis, and the blue, which is the z-axis. And they all meet at the origin where you'll find Susan here. And the tools that I'm going to be teaching you guys today are the select tool, the pencil, the rectangle, the circle, the arc tool, the eraser, the paint bucket. I'm going to be teaching you to push and pull, along with the move tool, to rotate, the offset tool, and I'm going to teach you these 4 little camera tools, which are our orbit, pan, zoom, and then there's a zoom extend. I barely use them, but I'm still going to go over it really quickly with you. And those are just simple tools we're going to go over today. And I would like to start by showing you guys how to use the select tool. This one is going to be the most frequently used one. And basically, just like its name, it's for selecting objects that are in your scene. Just like we just selected Susan and she turned blue. And you can select by left clicking the objects, and then by right clicking gives you a little menu box so you can do extra things to it. We're not going to do any thing extraordinary with that today, so let's just click to the side and exit that. Our next tool we're going to use is the pencil tool. This tool allows you to draw lines and then create edges and also form polygons by connecting your edges. And you can do this on any of the axis points. Our next tool to that is going to be our rectangle tool. It allows you to make squares and rectangles, and you can make rhombuses too. Of course, you just have to rotate it to make a rhombus. And you can do that on all axis points as well. And the next tool is just like it. It's a circle tool. Works much like the rectangle, except for you're making perfect circles. And you can make ovals too, however, you have to make the circle first and then you adjust it by scaling it or moving it. And of course, as I showed you, it works on different axis planes. So our next tool is the arc tool. It allows you to create curved lines from choosing any 2 points on your scene, no matter how long or short, how close or far apart they are, and any, sorry about that, wrong tool, any axis. So there's that tool. Our next tool is the erase tool. This one is super easy to use. You just hold down the left button on your mouse and hover over what you want erased. You can erase, but this only erases edges and lines, so. I mean, it can erase the whole object, but you have to select it and make sure it's selected. So if you wanted to erase Susan's shoes here, well, she was the entire component, so that was a bad idea. Okay, I'm gonna move on. I told you I was gonna do the paint bucket tool. I'm gonna hold this one until a little bit later on in our tutorial or walkthrough. Just gonna move to the right of that and use our push and pull tool. This allows you to extrude and add some volume to your faces or polys, whichever name you want to call it. But as you can see, it extrudes along the direction of the face. And this is also the tool that made Sketchup dynamic, because it's as simple as drawing with like pen and paper, you know? That's the concept of meshing with Sketchup as compared to meshing with like 3ds Max, where if you wanted to extrude, so to speak, you'd have to sorry about my voice cracking, you'd have to do this through like a modifier and a complex process, where with this one you click the item you want in the face and then you just maneuver it manually. So it's just really hands-on. Our next tool, I'm going to move on before I get too caught up playing to extrude, it's really fun, is the move tool. Unlike many of the other ones, you have to use the select tool and select the object or the line, the edge, whatever you want moved, you need to select it or have it highlighted. And then use the move tool and maneuver it. You can move it along the axis points by snapping it. As you can see, there's like a dotted green line or a dotted red line. And if I orbit my camera, you'll see a dotted blue line for it to move along the Z. And be careful, if it does touch another object, it then becomes part of the object that you are originally moving, as you can see now. That's an easy fix too, just move it back and now it moves. So I'm gonna again continue from here and show you another tool, because I don't want this tutorial to get too long-winded. So it's to rotate. Just like the move tool, you must select the item you want, rotate it. And as you can see here, I can rotate it from afar. I can rotate it directly on the item to get a more closer rotation. I can rotate it along different, I guess I can rotate along the axis points. This one is actually really important. And then I can rotate it on the item like I showed you before, but now that I have it at a different angle, you can easily see the rotation better. And I love rotating cubes because there's just so much potential with it and it moves really smooth. The more round or more complex your item is, or the less flat the faces are, the harder it gets to rotate. So just keep that in mind too. Alright, our next tool is the offset tool. Okay, I'm going to just make a quick cube that's on the ground to show off this tool. What the offset tool allows you to do is select a face and then create another face within it or on the outside of it with the same dimensions. And that's like as simplified as I can explain it. Basically, you see I have a square face. It's allowing me to make another square that's the exact same dimensions as it. It keeps its measurements, so it's not gonna like deform, and like if I have a rectangle, it's not gonna give me like a square. It's gonna keep the same rectangle, then the same dimensions, and I can just make it within the shape or outside of it. I can extrude or insert. And this one I'm extruding the shape, and in the other ones I inserted this shape. So, and just like I was mentioning before, the camera tools, I've been using them the whole time. I'm sure you have a general idea of what they do. This orbit one allows me to rotate and orbit throughout my scene really easily. And then the pan tool allows me to move within my scene. The zoom, I can zoom inward and zoom out smoothly. Then zoom extends, as if I get stuck, it'll zoom me either in or out of my scene. Again, barely use this one, but I didn't want to explain it. And the last and final tool that I want to go over was this materials tool. It just allows you to paint the objects that are on your scene. In another tutorial, I will do a more advanced painting and materials I guess explanation, because texturing is the most important part about meshing with Sketchup. At least to me, it is. It makes or break your mesh, or it makes or breaks your meshes pretty much. A lot of people tell you that nodes are, but I mean, nodes are pretty simple if you have Merlin's toolkit, so we don't have to worry about that. Well, and I'll quickly show you this one. I have my own custom number set, and I'll show you how to make your own too. Let me zoom in there, as you can see, and we can even pin these so that they fit this face better. And that's pretty much everything that I want to go over, just to show you these basic tools, how to use them, and I hope you play around with them and get more familiar with SketchUp. And your scene might look a little bit different than mine. Again, you can adjust that easily. You can place all your tools at the top, on the side. You can even go to Windows and Preferences, and under templates you can change your templates. Like if you live in a different country other than the US, your measurements might be in meters. Again, the feet and inches are fairly accurate as far as measurements for IMVU and for Merlin's toolkit. Also, yeah, pretty much for the scenes, feet and inches is really easy, and you can change it through preferences. And this is pretty much it for this tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and conclude it, give a few shout outs. One to my group, Club Bubblegum AP. Please join it. Feel welcome to participate and glamorize your hobby as a developer. Also, you can subscribe to my channel, see more tutorials like this. Leave me some comments. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if you have any questions or if I'm leaving something out here. Also, give a shout out to English Tiger for making SketchUp possible for IMVU users. You'll hear more about him and other great tools that he invented for SketchUp. I'll go over that in other tutorials. And also visit me in my live office on IMVU. It is Club Bubblegum Inc. Office AP. Come see me, come see my intern, say hi, be friendly, leave me a message on IMVU. Alright, thank you guys, and I'm out.